Whenever you're ready.
Alright. Hello, I'm here with a good friend of mine, Eric Thomas, from Break the Cycle Incorporated.
Yeah, alright, let's go.
Alright. So E.T., you know I'm at Full Sail University.
Absolutely.
You know Full Sail is a school for media arts. We have industry professionals who are graduating from that school, who are students of that school, who are alumnus of that school, you know, who work in digital media, film, audio, all of that. You also know that we created the site realtoreals.com to house work from those industry professionals and other industry professionals around the country. So what I really wanted to get into was I wanted you to share with those individuals who I will be sharing this with, meaning the student body at Full Sail, the alumnus at Full Sail, and the industry professionals at realtoreals.com. Just share with them a little bit about who Eric Thomas is, what Break the Cycle is, and how important establishing a relationship with industry professionals with realtoreals.com and Full Sail University, how instrumental that will be in going forward in the future.
So you thought it was the end of the story. So you thought just because the student was willing to be obedient to the guru and not only wake up but meet him at the beach early in the morning, you thought that was enough? Oh, I got it. So you thought because he was willing to walk out into the deep of the ocean that was enough, because the guru placed his head under the water, pulled it out, and taught him that the secret to success is wanting it as bad as you want to breathe. So you thought that was the end of the story?
The price tag on 1 second of life is too high for a billionaire to afford. He couldn't pay it. All your billions cannot buy 1 second of life. And you take it for granted. The price is too high. So what do you do? What is required of you? That's the question. That is the question I ask myself all the time. What is required of you when you have a debt that you can never pay?
Well, ball is another tool we have for ministering. A lot of these guys on the court tonight were saved and delivered on the street, and basketball was used as a tool to lure them in here. And once they got in here, we would play ball and we make a little gesture at the beginning of the game. Whoever wins, you know, the other group has to sit down and talk. We listen to what we say. And through that, God allowed us to minister to so many young people, man. A lot of these guys came from broken homes. I count 6 or 7 of them on court now. Ex-offenders, ex-drug dealers. One brother here just got out of rehab and doing great, man. And God is just really using basketball with us as another tool of ministering. Paul speaks of becoming all things, and this is one thing that the Lord has given us. And you know, we might be fat and overweight gospel singers, but we can run that ball. No? And God has allowed it to just really, really be a blessing, not just with this age. Last week we had a camp with ages 5 to 12. We had quite a many kids in here, and you know, we got to minister to them for 3 days by using basketball, and it really worked. So many Y's and community centers, you know, are not open to our kids, and you know, it's not for us to complain about it. We've got to go out and do something about it. So we've used this Y as a tool to get to the young people. This particular YMCA, you know, they had basketball for several years, and you know, we were able to come in and buy uniforms for the kids, and not just that, so many other things. Friday last week we took all of them out to lunch, and you know, Christmas we were able to bless 40 families with food and toys and gifts. It's just another avenue, you know, and this Y has been very, very helpful as far as giving us avenues for young people to find young people to bless.
So who are some of the people you admire on the basketball court? I notice you don't play much defense, but we see you out there.
Michael Jordan's my boy. I'm challenging him now. Now, I like Mike. I guess Mike's everybody's boy, but you know, Mike don't have the sweetness that I have. You know, I'm anointed, plus I got the sweetness, you know. So, you know, we're gonna work with Mike. Fred Hammond.
Is it the shoes? It must be
the shoes.
I'm telling you,
right there. It's them. You know, and Ben Tankard and so many other gospel artists have challenged us, and we took them like it was nothing. Ben, I took you. You remember? We're working on Take 6. They're a little scared of us right now, so we're praying for them that God gives them strength, you know, that they can bring it on.
Sounds like a GBA, a Gospel Basketball Association.
What's up? Me and you gonna hook that up too. Yeah.
All right.
We've got some sponsors now for several programs that we're getting ready to do. We got Operation Night Court, which is basketball late night, Friday night, Saturday night, that lets the young people come off the street and play ball. But before they play ball, they have to go to class. What class? Bible class. So it's really happening.
I was his son, he was my sky. And I remember one thing before he left out. That day I was talking about everything. I'm gonna get a tattoo of Duke and everything. They woke me up out my sleep and said my baby was gone. That's my baby, that's my heart. Rest in peace, baby, I love you.
I need everybody from the ages of 13 to 24 to stand up. Go ahead. I'm the second oldest daughter to Jeff Ford. And I'm fed up. That's right. Because each and every one of you all can be Duke right here. I'm going to be real honest with you all because, see, we real talking up in here because Duke is real laying right in front of us. My brothers. But we got a responsibility to bring up our community to be vibrant. Cease the fire, call a truce.
I was the chauffeur for Dr. Martin Luther King when SCLC made their first venture into the North by way of Chicago. The black community, we were the nobodies, and the civil rights era gave us hope that we could be somebody. How can the President of the United States be a black man? I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. But while I'm seeing the president on television and the images of him leading the free world, I'm still burying black kids. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Our mosque is holding a prayer visual for a kid shot sitting in front of his home, just listening to the radio. Corey definitely wasn't in a gang, and he was loved by his block. When rage sets in, when ego sets in, when a Hennessy sets in, I'm gonna walk down here to where Corey's friends are. You stay right here. These young guys say, let's go get who we think did it. I'm hearing 20 different things why that brother got changed. And all of it is stupid. All of it is stupid. 2 o'clock in the afternoon when these babies coming home from school, y'all shoot. For real. This is unacceptable for me to be holding this young man's obituary. Schools, churches, your mama's house, your cars, those are safe zones. When I was about your age, I was making some real stupid decisions and some stupid calls that was causing me, my life, blood on my hands and my head. Stop. Who does this baby belong to? Who does this little shorty belong to? He just hanging around y'all? He just he just hanging around y'all, right? So he see everything that you all do, right? So if this brother right here catch a case and do 100 years, whose fault is it? It's his fault?
Our fault.
Teach him righteous. Y'all got it? Yeah. Y'all got it? Yeah. You got it? Yeah.
thought that one single event, that one single moment was enough for him to stand amongst the greats, to make his dream become a reality. Well, you thought wrong. In fact, it's far from over. That was the easy part. Now it's time to redefine the grind.
Dr. Life in the business of saving lives. Dr. Life in the business of saving lives. I don't know if you can see Cuzzo talking directly to Keisha Craig. Talking directly to my cousin Keisha Craig. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm here at the crib. I'm standing in front of Hamilton High West. I'm here at the crib. The reason I'm here is because, you know, our cousin Dollar Bill lost his son, Sean Hackett, 14 years old. And the impact that Dollar Bill and Razor Sharp has had on the city made its way to the mayor. The mayor of Trenton came to the funeral. Then the mayor of Trenton expressed the impact that Sean Hackett and Dollar Bill and Razor Sharp had on him and his administration with the governor of New Jersey. And so on the 24th of June, the governor of New Jersey's office reached out to me. An official from the governor of New Jersey's office reached out to me. The office is right here in Trenton. So it's easy for the impact of Razor Sharp and Dollar Bill to travel from the mayor of Trenton to the governor, who also works downtown Trenton, New Jersey.
Back in the 60s, you stood a better chance of surviving a gunshot wound in Vietnam than you did a car accident in the city of Pittsburgh.
The United States ain't doing nothing for us, man. We busted our ass, we went over there to an army to kill, and 99% of us got killed, and we didn't get nothing for it. They give us a piece of paper that says to us, we're a Vietnam veteran, and we can get disability, and we can get this, and we can get a job, and we ain't got nothing. We gotta get our welfare. You understand?
The war in Vietnam is over, and the junkies are coming home, angry and scared and strung out. In New York City, there are 300,000 Vietnam-era veterans, and 40,000 of them are addicts. Most of them began using heroin, barbiturates, and amphetamines in Vietnam, and most of them came home with less than honorable drug-related discharges. These GIs are ineligible for veterans' educational, home loan, and employment benefits. They get no long-term VA medical or psychological treatment for their addiction. They're offered only methadone, a numbing drug with which some men can function and others can't.
There weren't ambulances as we think about them today. People called the police, and hopefully the police would actually come and pick them up.
Relations between the police and the black community were oppressive.
I found my mom laying on the floor. 2 police officers showed up and said she was drunk and they were not going to transport her to the hospital.
I don't think that they really thought that I was going to ever work. I mean, we're talking about 25 black men. That's how it started. It was 25 of us.
In order to achieve change, and this is what we're after, there has to be conflict.
Back in the 60s, when you called the ambulance, the police came.
Policemen were in charge of taking people to the hospital.
And they would put the person on that little stretcher and throw them in the back of the paddy wagon, slam the door, and go as fast as they can. People were dying from this.
We are aiming for a training program for ambulance attendants under the direct supervision of physicians.
Freedom House was a program to hire the unemployable, some of the alcoholic and drug abuse people that they wanted to get off the streets.
The Hill District is the #1 poverty area in the city, with the largest number of underprivileged.
I remember the title said, ambulance driver. So I said to myself, an ambulance driver? What is this, am I going to be a chauffeur for sick people?
And we went to school and we went through training and we did an excellent job.
We were starting IVs in the field, doing tracheal intubation in the field.
We were the ones who changed all emergency medical services. We became the standard.
At that time, black people couldn't get an ambulance. You couldn't get an ambulance into a lot of communities. We're the last on the list to get service.
If you look at the time, 1967, of course, there were the urban rebellions. On 68, the killing of Dr. King.
Black power is born. Young blacks with no patience for King's nonviolence. And there are riots, burning, looting, rock throwing.
We'd have to leave our lights on inside this police wagon so they could see who we were. Otherwise, without it, they're going to break the windshields out and we'd probably get drug out and beat to death. But they knew about Freedom House.
Once people realized that we were in to help, we had no problem.
There was a whole argument as to whether Freedom House could cover the entire city because it was perceived that the peoples of the African American community were receiving a much higher standard of care in emergency situations than other communities were in the same city.
Because that we were black, we went into some of the different neighborhoods and people weren't ready for that.
I remember the whole political fight around the future of Freedom House.
But the mayor decided to put his own service in the system in opposition to Freedom House in 1975.
How can I be nice about this? He really didn't like Freedom House. That's being blunt.
You know, when you can take something from nothing and make something out of it, everybody else wants to get in on the play.
I want to emphasize how we were used. There was a lot of dirt involved with Freedom House. Nobody wants to talk about that. There was money taken, there was money stolen, it was to the advantage of a lot of people. And I know this occurred, but you won't get nobody to admit it.
Here was something that black people had pioneered. It was taken up by the government. And then the next thing you know, taken away from us.
What I really wanted to get into was, I wanted you to share with those individuals who I will be sharing this with, meaning the student body at Full Sail, the alumnus at Full Sail, and the industry professionals at realtoreals.com. Just share with them a little bit about who Eric Thomas is, what Break the Cycle is, and how important establishing a relationship with industry professionals with realtoreals.com and Full Sail University, how instrumental that will be in going forward in the future.
Well, definitely. As you stated, I'm Eric Thomas, of course, CEO of Break the Cycle, which has been in existence probably now since 1992. And, you know, we're responsible for academic, personal, and social development of young people across the country.
Football players, how many football players? Got anybody like football in here? Raise your hand. Anybody like football? Emmitt Smith. I used to be a Cowboy fan before they did my boy Tom Landry wrong. I used to be a Cowboy fan. And watch this, there was a commercial. Emmitt Smith had won his first Super Bowl, and he had this commercial when he was lifting weights. I don't know if you saw the commercial when he was lifting, and Emmitt said, you know what? I won the Super Bowl, so I can rest now. He was doing his bench press. So he said, I won a Super Bowl, so I can rest now. So he throws up about 325, boom. And he rests for about 2 seconds. Then he, boom, boom, boom. Did you see that? He'd already won a Super Bowl. He said, I think I'm going to take a rest. And he rests for how long? 1 second. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. And I'm here to tell you today, if you got somebody came in my office the other day crying. I said, look, don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it. Don't go to sleep until you succeed. Listen to me. I'm here to tell you today that you can come here, you can jump up, you can do flips, you can be excited when we give away money. But listen to me, you'll never be successful until I don't have to give you a dime to do what you do. You won't be successful until you say, I don't need that money, because I got it in here.
And I think it's important to establish a relationship with individuals from Full Sails because unfortunately, when you deliver a message as powerful as we delivered, and we're only saying that because of what people have said about us, the testimonies that people have given, it's over. You know, we just left California, and whatever we did that day without media, it doesn't exist. It's no longer alive. You know, and so we think that the media aspect will be so powerful because it'll give, we know this is a technological era, it'll give young people who weren't at the conference, it'll give professional people who weren't at the conference an opportunity not only to see what we do, but get the tools that they need to be able to work with the generation that they're working with. And so that's why it's important. I think that this message is a message that needs to get out throughout the world. And we know that the media, the entertainment media, the multimedia is what's that medium that you get that out. You look at BET and VH1 and ABC and Fox, etc. You know, you look at how they're able to get their message out. And I just believe that we set up an internship where individuals could come and work with us to shoot all of our conferences, to shoot our speeches that we do on major university campuses. I think that this could become a tool that could really change the way not only we deal with our young, troubled or underserved population, but I think at the same time it can give exposure to that generation. They can kind of see, hey, these are the things that you guys are doing. Here are the solutions to some of the problems that we have.
Right. On something, you made some great points, and I've been blessed to be able to see where you've come from, just going place to place with really no video camera at all. Just as soon as we said it, it was over with. And now I see that you do have a team. Carl here filming this is heading up the media team. But the future of where Break the Cycle, we talked about it a little bit. I want you to elaborate on where the future, maybe some conferences and how we started out smaller, but it's expanding. So that's why we need to expand this media vision around Carl, because the expansive phase is coming, so we need to prepare for that.
Absolutely. Like you said, I mean, we just left California. You just think about the testimonies of the young people. Right. I mean, you think about the messages, you think about the family groups, how we divide it. We're limited because we're dealing with 1 or 2 cameras. And so those individuals are going to one family group, whereas we got a whole other family group going on. You know, and then like you said, we're taking this thing in LA from one high school to a coliseum of 15,000. And again, we need people who are skilled, not just in the area of capturing the event, but people who afterwards can edit it, you know, and people who have an eye for what America is looking for, you know, what internationally people are looking for from a cutting edge aspect as it relates to media. I mean, you have to think about it. We're not the professionals. I mean, we speak, we act, we perform, but now we need a team around Carl who can help us to really take this media aspect to the level that our speaking and our theatrical presentations are.
You are listening to the Lance J Radio Show on Advent Sports Network.
You only get 30% of the pay and none of the benefits.
Exactly. Right. So we back in Trenton, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? My pops is the spiritual priest of his whole family, bruh. Alright? When I tell you that on my pop's side, you know what I'm saying? And this is a testimony. This is not talking down about my family. This is just testimony. It might be 18 first cousins on my pop's side. It's 2 of them that didn't get caught up in the drug epidemic that ran through the 70s, 80s in Trenton, New Jersey. We talk about heroin. I'm talking about 20, 30-year heroin addictions, you know what I'm saying? Finally getting broken. Now, all of his cousins, I mean, they all God-fearing in the church made it through, and that's a blessing and testimony of itself, because most people don't even survive that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I come from. I call Trenton the modern day Nazareth. You know what I'm saying? Can anything good come out of Nazareth, come out of Trenton? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's where I ended up. My pops, his second job was a maintenance man in the Trenton housing projects. All right? Those projects right next to Mount Sinai in North Trenton, Roger Gardens, my pops was a maintenance man there. So I would get out of school at Mount Sinai, change my clothes, walk across the neighborhood to the projects, and I would hoop in the projects all day till Pops got off, 6:30, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's where the ability came from, though, bro. That's where the sports and hooping on the level that I hooped on came from. There was no playing in the projects when he was hooping with them. It was a cat who went to Trenton High. His name was Dave Mashburn. He was burnt as a kid, right? Like 80% of his body was burnt. His fingertips was like bent. But when I tell you this dude was dunking on Cat's head and all that, and so, you know, I'm kind of known for going to the basket kind of hard, and you talked about dunking and laying perpendicular to it. But that came from in the project watching Dave Mashburn. I'm like, if he could do it, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? So they made me into the beast that everybody ran into upon Poorest. Those streets of Trenton, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it all started. He gave me the ability. Go ahead.
So that's a good. I mean, that's a great kind of a great lead in to this discussion. So you're kind of talking about, for those listening to the Lance Day Radio Show, I'm talking with Damon Leggett. He's talking about his upbringing. He's from Trenton, New Jersey. Really grew up in a street environment. Family is deep in Trenton. Pretty much the whole family, both sides are from the Trenton area. For those that don't know the East Coast, Trenton is pretty hood. Like, I've lived in Trenton. It ain't no joke. It's real out there. Like, it's real in Trenton. I remember going with my father to do like outreach and ministry and stuff as a little kid when I lived in Trenton. And I've lived in Baltimore, so I know hood spots when I see a hood spot. And Trenton is definitely not a place to get caught slipping, for real. So you got to talk about, you know, playing ball, playing against people that had more of a street or urban, you know, a bulldog type mentality. What was it like, Damon, when you transitioned and went to Pine Forge? You know, you get to Pine Forge, which in theory in the early 90s when you got there was a prep school, but I know that Pine Forge had a very interesting element as well. That's kind of the classic Pine Forge days, that late 80s, early 90s group.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of people that you rubbed shoulders with and went on to do some really excellent things moving forward. What was your experience like at Pine Forge and playing ball at Pine Forge?
All right, perfect. So there are a lot of people who may not agree with me, right? So in this segment, I'm always going to say, in my opinion. Okay?
Right.
So, in my opinion, that era that you speak of, that mid-'80s, right? Mid to late 80s on out to, I would say, probably about 2000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I call that the golden era of Pine Forge, right? I can't even say on out to 2000 because some changes happened in 1993 that, to me,
I think
kind of ended the golden era. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm gonna say early 80s to 93.
I got there in 93, and 93 was the last year of the golden era. When we came back the next year, it was not quite the same.
It wasn't the same, and I'm gonna tell you why. All right, but speaking about when I landed in the golden era, right? Mind you, my older sister Terry Leggett, she went to Pine Forge Academy first for 4 years. So for 4 years, I'm hearing the stories. I'm coming back. She's coming back with the worship songs. She's coming back with the stories of Skip Peace and Reg Moore and Jay Moore and Brian Street and Dorwin Lyles banging on cats and Troy Rory, and like I couldn't wait. I was salivating. I was dreaming about getting the Pine Forge, bro. I would go up on the weekend and everything that she said was happening, bro. I would see it before my own eyes. Right? Now, mind you, yes, it's a prep school, but Reg and Jay Moore, they from the bricks. They from Brick City,
Right.
North New Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's from Philadelphia. Brian Street from Philadelphia, right? So the golden era was, I was coming straight out of Trenton into Pine Forest. It was like, you know what I'm saying, a family reunion. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? We just happened to be up there at that school. The thing that cats don't realize about Pine Forest Academy, I'm going to put it all the way out there. Right?
Oh, put it out there. Put it out there.
I'm gonna put it all the way out there.
I rep all the time, but getting
somebody. Listen, man. The world came out with a documentary called "Waiting for Superman." Waiting for Superman. If cats haven't seen the documentary, you need to go see the documentary. Right? All throughout our inner cities, you know what I'm saying, through the mid-'90s, early mid-'90s, as a result of the No Child Left Behind educational movement that was implemented, right, which left all of the children behind, right? Instead of children getting a diploma, right, they gave them graduation certificates, right? So that on the books it wouldn't say that these kids dropped out. No, you don't drop out. Here, take this certificate, right? But when you don't drop out, you don't graduate with a diploma, and you take that certificate, the certificate wasn't worth nothing. You couldn't get student loans. You couldn't get nothing. So all it did was cook the books, so it looked like the dropout rate wasn't as bad as it was. No child left behind. But all of those graduates that just took the certificate, you couldn't get it to the service. You couldn't, nothing, right? So our educational system in the mid-'90s and 2000s, they started seeing the residual of that mess. You know what I'm saying? Half the school, 9th graders would get in. It would be 100 students in 9th grade. But by the 12th grade, that same graduating class, it would be 40% of them would have dropped off. 50% of them was dropping off. They call that a dropout factory. And lo and behold, when they started tracking it, it's all in the inner cities. It's all in our hoods. It's all in places where people of color dwell. You know what I'm saying? But during the same time, we had this beacon of light, Pine Forge Academy, that for the past 70 years has been graduating 100% of their students. 100% of African American males and females who walk with God for 70 years have been going to a place while the whole country is waiting for Superman and looking for Superman. Superman already came.
Right. Yeah, it's a special,
the jewel that everybody's looking for. Pine Forest sitting on the jewel. You know what I'm saying? We got to go and be taught of the Lord and matriculate through a system where some of the greatest influences, man, you know the legacy of Pine Forge Academy alumnus, you know what I'm saying? The Take Six, come on, man, like, you know the pedigree. And
Absolutely.
So my thing was, we had a great thing going, right? But something happened at the end of the golden era. There was this big push to focus on academics, right? Pine Forge used to be a place, I'll tell you a story. My right-hand man, Keith Armstrong. Pine Forge was a place where cats who would have fallen into what they call there's something else called the forgotten middle.
Flow is great. Yeah. We been cool out 5, so raspy, my nigga Kiss. You hear me? Yeah. Rest in peace, B.I. You hear me? Yo. Showing love to get you froze. Pistol with the throw, vision with the flows. Niggas act different when it goes. Love me when I was down, knew I was shows. Took hits, had me against the rope, stayed on my toes. Ali, round here, fat boy, top 3. Fuck your top 5 if one of them niggas not me. Goofies ain't trying to give flowers out, they rather see you down and out. I'm wearing Gucci socks around the house, and Gucci slides to match it, whole another fabric. They don't pass the ball and they block the basket. Bottom of the net when I release. My grandmother's face on my piece, may God bless the deceased. I got my buzz offline, bossed up cause it's boss time. It was all lost when it was all mine. Still that ain't enough. Grab them whole, break them up. Get the dice, shake them up, nigga. Yeah, who you betting on? Who you cheddar on? They know not to make a move when the weapon's drawn. If I was from a bigger city, they'd praise a nigga. Kanye, high top, send my latest picture. Still on the back block where they blaze the blicker. You think it's all fun and games? We ain't playing with you. Everything's a laugh. Took it to the table and put everything in bags. You see me on the Ave? There's money being made. Cool if they ever raid. Spots up and down the block. Ask them about how I played. Fact rap, belt matched the backpack. Wrote bars in the kitchen while Chucky Looky was bringing crack back. Yeah, and that's the reason why I go hard. Back up in my go, y'all. Anthony Mason Bogart. Yeah, some shit for the grand, yeah.
Right.
What up, though?
You know what it is, Slick?
Right. The forgotten middle is from in middle school, from the grade 5th grade to 8th grade. Those kids in our inner cities, they're called the forgotten middle. There's a study on it, right? Now, I know all of this because I've dedicated 20 years of my life to saving dropout factory victims and people in the forgotten middle. Like this, they are the apple of my eye. That's what I do, right? But the forgotten middle is this. Anytime where they supposedly put together programs to help high school students go and encourage them to go to college, they target the 11th and 12th grades. You know what I'm saying? They target the 11th and 12th grades, but the forgotten middle study says that it's too late. Right. It's already too late. If you don't get them by the 5th grade, right, because in the 5th grade, kids who was getting A's and B's in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th without even trying, all of a sudden they get to the 5th grade and the whole math change up. Mm-hmm. And the student ain't changed. It's the fact I've been getting A's and B's, not doing homework, not just showing up and taking boom. Then all of a sudden you hitting me with these standardized tests and this geometry and this algebra, whatever at the 5th grade level. They sending my kids home to do homework with no books. Bruh, how is a kid gonna do homework and they don't have a textbook?
Right.
You serious? They sending these kids home, telling them to go do math problems off of something that they sat in class at 10 in the morning and the teacher done worked out a problem on the thing, and they want a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old to come home to a house where a mom is probably working 3 and 4 jobs, and mom probably dropped out, and grandma's probably raising them, and grandma probably ain't finished past the 4th grade.
Yeah, I think that's a key element. And before we break, I wanna kind of respond to that. I do a lot of studying, Damon, in my field. I do a lot of quantitative analysis and statistics. I work in the healthcare field, and a key component, especially in the urban inner city environment, mostly pertaining to African Americans. Also, you see classes of Latinos in this boat. People don't realize that African Americans that are elderly grew up in an era where they were denied the opportunities in many places to learn to read at a 12th grade level or even at a 6th grade level. Exactly. So if some of the ills that plague our culture, if you have situations where parents don't have it together and the father is not in the home, which is definitely a major issue within the black community, then you have grandma raising the children, but grandma may only have a 6th grade education. So how can you have someone who's a freshman in high school, right, studying geometry or studying algebra? Right. Who do they go to get help if they're being raised by their grandmother that doesn't have that education? So that's a very good point. We're going to break real quick on the Lance J Radio Show, but I'm going to come back with Damon Leggett. He's really dropping some knowledge about the education system, but I also want to talk to him about his experience as he grew into being an adult and raising his family. I know that your son just graduated from Pine Forge recently, and some of the work you've done in Chicago and now what you're doing with your current endeavors, the Father's Wish Foundation. So we'll be right back on the Lance J Radio Show with more Damon Leggett.
always do about this time. Big ooh, Ace McClick like A&R to the streets on board. I told you only co-sign that official street shit. 3. Let's get into it.
I can hear Far talking, can see Jim smiling. I watch y'all get them, break them down and lose thousands. We been scoring the last 10 years, but who's counting? Pounds on the same table where I was half ounces. I eat with a chosen few, my moment is overdue. My face never shows what I'm going through. Can't let them see you sweat. I'm plugged in and that's the disconnect. Cause these goofy niggas think money could buy respect. No, paper gon' pay for the casket. Out at KOP, I'm using plastic. Swiping the flow is frightening. In the dark, I was enlightened. Abdul-Alim, don't forget the hyphen. As soon as it land, we tear it apart. My inner thoughts, Frayfin, I'm skating, no Kendall Park. As soon as it land, we tear it apart. My inner thoughts, nigga, Rayford, I'm skating, no Kendall Park. You was motivated by the money. We was motivated by the struggle. Real niggas got it off the muscle. I stood out in the cold for the shit. I put it on the road, took the risk, yeah. You was motivated by the money. We was motivated by the struggle. Real niggas got it off the muscle. I stood out in the cold for the shit. I put it on the road, took the risk. Yeah, keys open doors.
Take your shoes off when you walk in my apartment. Respect the carpet. Excuse me, I'm just slick talking from bitches stalking. Stainless in my kitchen like I was aiming at my target. Everything. Walking to my closet, welcome to Neiman and Marcus. I started from muddy shoes and dirty white tees. Now I'm stunting in my bloody shoes, call them the Spike Lees. The flyers of them all. My style is off the wall. I don't say a word, I moonwalking bitches' draws. I moonwalk whenever the money call. I'm just a smooth criminal, like fuck a job interview. All I need is 96 O's, one outfit. Yeah, you know my prices is low, I'm like the outlet. Supreme clientele with the smell. I'm no ghost face in these streets, they know me well. We so loud and this bitch is about to yell.
You was motivated by the money. We was motivated by the struggle. Real niggas got it off the muscle. I stood out in the cold for the shit. I put it on the road, took the risk, yeah. You was motivated by the money. We was motivated by the struggle. Real niggas got it off the muscle. I stood out in the cold for the shit. I put it on the road, took the risk, slick keys, open doors.
Our investment in financial empowerment, and particularly what we're doing with the Finance Academy, is so important. Whether it's preparing for college, buying their first car, preparing a budget that can help them make sound financial decisions, the entire process for us is something that we're thinking about when we look at financial empowerment and sitting down with our customers or going into the classroom. This is part of who we are. It's part of being a Fifth Third better. This is exactly what we think is important to make a difference in the communities we serve.
You never knew how it was going to turn out. It was a gamble.
It was up to us at Freedom House to provide that care that they were not going to get from the police.
Freedom House ambulance service really turned into an incredible success story.
They were black, they were trained, and they were keeping people alive.
This is my first big call, and I'm going to save this person's life.
Finance Academy will be delivered using technology and teacher instruction. That's a really cool way for students to be able to leverage technology on their screens or laptops or iPads, but more importantly, it will be reinforced by the teachers. The teachers will be able to talk about the subjects, talk about where the students are at with their academic performance around that module, and it also allows the students, though, to take modules at their own pace. When you think about the students these days who really leverage technology for everything in their life, to have that program being delivered that way really connects with the students in a way that will provide a lot of impact.
The high point of Black Pittsburgh would have been in the 1940s. Pittsburgh was the center of making armaments for the war effort, which funded the nightclubs, black music, black businesses, really created an era of prosperity.
In the evening, we watched the grown-ups go back and forth to the clubs. They were all very spiffy, dressed up. It was quite a joy to watch them.
Center Avenue corridor was filled with businesses. You never had to leave for anything.
By the late 1950s, Pittsburgh was really prosperous. The mills were running, but the mills produced tremendous pollution. People were not interested in living in a place that was so filthy. So the city set out to do something about it and produced what's called the Renaissance.
The word started going around that everybody was going to have to move.
When I think about Finance Academy and working with high school students, it's exciting that they're on their own learning journey. It's important that we play a role in that, particularly as it relates to making sound financial decisions. They're going into an incredibly important stage in their life, and so when I think about the things that they might be considering, like, how do I pay for college? What should I be thinking about if I buy my first car? What types of forms do I need to fill out as I move into that stage of my life? What should I be thinking about in terms of my budget? These are the types of questions that we will help them answer in the Finance Academy. We'll also help them think through using good judgment and understanding how decisions have potentially a long-term impact in their lives. So this is exciting that we get a chance to be a part of this learning journey with students through Finance Academy, and it's something that Fifth Third is really excited to play an important role.
Tupac of my generation, Pac was highly intelligent, but in our culture, street culture, especially in his generation, intelligence was viewed as a form of weakness. How do you get the people that's really affected by, what we're trying to solve involved?
Yeah. Family broken, so I stand with my niggas. Showed up to every shootout, but I ran for my feelings. No time for those, I got a plan to get millions. Whoever don't agree, I see you back at the buildings. That's why I never let y'all act like a victim. That's why I never let y'all kill my ambition. You weren't built for the mission. Park my cutlass in the back of the village. Remember Tony started washing them dishes. It was all a decision. Fast died, he took a part of me with him. Heart broken like my artery missing. Just fuck all of you niggas. Team broke, they can't harvest you, nigga. Swore shit, it got a heart to it, nigga.
I used to know you were gon' fold 'em. I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on. Pray my son never face what I go through. Yeah. Nigga, get it, don't wear the crown right. And if it be feeling like what it sound like. Now my life is a struggle and it get worse, I ain't complain about it. I just can't never feel the same about it. My life built on damage, can't understand it, can't call family, no. Got crossed by my closest, I ain't gon' show too much emotion, no. My little one call my phone, I pick her right away. I know I'm living wrong if it's the right way. I was too busy trying to get heavy, I was lightweight. A lot of niggas that came in with me ain't on my side today. I been trying to live with some of these songs in case I die today. Every time I need something lean on, I drink that spot away. So it don't feel how it feels to me. Cause I've been through it and it did what it did to me. I trusted you and that was big for me. This my little partner, you do that big for me. And I ain't never jumped in my feelings, I hear you. I know you wanna fold 'em. I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on me. Pray my son never face what I go through. Yeah. Nigga, to get it, don't wear the crown right. And if it be feeling like what it sound like. Now my life was a struggle and it get worse, I ain't complain about it. I just can't never feel the same about it.
Mathematical mogul, marathoning, making moves, taking the heartbreaking news, made major breaking news. Nephews, nieces, siblings see, stay confused. Waking up shaking, aching, praying that it's April Fool's. Chosen child from the now down, stakes is huge. Snakes and fakes straddling the gate, it's too late to choose. Through violent visions gave victory, paid your dues. Motivated, demonstrated, elevated views. Truths don't die, we multiply. I ain't make the rules. Self-medicate, meditate, and celebrate the blues. Neighborhood, roller coaster, you can take the cruise, I'm good. Blue laces, suede Puma's favorite shoes. Jesus to the generations, you never save me on my babies. Most beautiful gift Puto ever gave me. For such a precious life, who decides price? I couldn't view the slides twice, cause they crucified Christ.
I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on me. Pray my son never face what I go through. Yeah. Nigga, they get it, don't wear the crown right. And they be feeling like what it sound like. Now my life is a struggle and it get worse, I ain't complaining about it. I just can't never feel the same about it. My life built on damage, can't understand it, can't call family, no. Got crossed by my closest, I ain't gon' show too much emotion, no. My little one call my phone, I pick her right away. I know I'm living wrong if it's the right way. I was too busy trying to get heavy, I was lightweight. A lot of niggas that came in with me ain't on my side today. I been trying to leave with some of these songs in case I die today. Every time I need something lean on, I drink that spot away. So it don't feel how it feels to me. Cause I've been through it and it did what it did to me. I trusted you and that was big for me. This my little partner, you do that big for me. And I ain't never jumped in my feelings out here. You for nothing with no photo. I used to know that I could count on you. All that pressure they bestowed on me. Pray my son never face what I go through. Yeah. Nigga, they get it, don't wear the crown right. And they be feeling like what it sound like. Now my life was a struggle and it get worse, I ain't complaining about it. I just can't never feel the same.
My name is Nipsey Hussle, and we on my grandmother's porch.
Look.
I think the definition of fatherhood is the consistency of being a father figure in your child's life. And I think the definition of being a man, that's a long one, but I think what it boiled down to is just being thorough. And I read in the Bible that women and children can be careless, you know what I mean? Men can't be careless. So I think being thorough and whatever the opposite of carelessness is, define what being a man is at the core.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, you wanna go slow or you wanna go fast?
I'm going back.
All right, look ahead. You ready? Sure.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be around a lot of different type of individuals to call my friends. So some of them had, parents. But majority of the kids in my area that I grew up around, more didn't than did, And more definitely didn't have they pops in the house, you know what I'm saying, than did. But I had some close friends that did have a father in the house. That's why I say I had different groups of people that I would consider my close friends that I grew up with. And a couple of my close homies did have good male role models, but majority of the people I knew did, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what it was.
Now Blue Laces 2, one of my favorite records on the album, you make a Spook Who Sat by the Door reference.
You know about that, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I read that book, but I don't think you a spook who sat by the door. I think your intentions are pretty clear.
Well, now I would say so, but even to the point we made earlier, that's one of the reasons I was so vocal about where I was coming from and what I represented, because I knew who I wanted to mobilize, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna name my last album Spook Who Sat by the Door. You know what I mean? When I finished my situation with our partnership at Atlantic. And for anybody that ain't seen that seen that movie or read the book, it's about a gang member from Chicago who presented himself in a way he never caught no cases. He had a clean cut look, and he infiltrated the CIA.
Yep.
And he became educated and basically he used their agenda, which was to have a token nigga in the CIA for political reasons, you know, we gonna speak blunt, fuck it. He used it against him. And I think that in terms of hip hop, you think of the message that they embrace, I feel parallel with, like, you know what I mean, the power structure. I don't mean the culture of hip hop, but the power structure of music. They got prescribed personas they expect from it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the way he used their intention against him was one of my underlying strategies. You know what I'm saying?
You got to put the medicine in the candy.
100%.
And what's interesting about that book, all his people used to call him Uncle Tom and the Cool,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
Sellout.
Yeah.
But he was there working for them the whole time.
Yeah, and he I don't want to go blow nothing up like he did in the movie, you know what I mean? But just in terms of being able to mobilize his homies to a hard cause, you know?
What happens when you're a gazelle and you're not being pushed, you're not being prodded, you're not given a reward, nobody's encouraging you? What happens when you're a gazelle and the lion's not chasing you anymore? You stop running. But what happens when you're a lion? When you are a lion, it does not make a difference. You realize that if your family is going to eat, that if that pack of lions is to survive, then you gotta go hunt. A part of being a beast just ain't eating a gazelle. A part of being a beast is the hunts. It's the hunt that they're excited about. They like to see the gazelles run. Then boom, they take off. Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. And some of y'all just want to score. You don't like the process. You're not in love with the process. A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. They live to hunt. They don't just live to catch it. It's the whole process. When you are a true hunter, you don't go by time, you go by the gazelle. When you are a true hunter, you hunt until you get a gazelle, and you don't stop until you get one. And then you get another, and then you get another, and you get another. If you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, be what you say you're gonna be, you're gonna have to lion me out. You a gazelle, you gonna come up short. You a gazelle, you gonna have an average experience. You a student, I need you in lion mode. You an entrepreneur, I need you in lion mode. You trying to lose weight, lion mode. You can't do nothing significant in gazelle mode, nothing. Nothing impressive happens in gazelle mode. Nothing happens in run mode, give up mode, quit mode, scared mode, fearful mode, nothing happens. Everything happens in lion mode like I'm coming to get you.
I want to see your credentials. Up against the car. Get up against the car. Get up against the car. Up against the car. Where's your credentials at?
Officer, I'm a college student.
Let me see your credentials.
I'm a college student trying to get home.
I want to see your credentials.
I'm just a college student trying to get home.
Keep your mouth shut.
My mom turkey's super good. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm gonna need a plate, bro. You're gonna have to save me one of them joints. I got you, man. Last year, my mom, bro, she messed up the apple pie. That joint was watery. You know, that's my favorite dessert, too, bro. I don't know how she did it. How she messed up the apple pie, man? That's crazy. Yeah, man. I hope this year she get it right. Yeah, man. Hopefully she will. I know she will. She got to, man. Apple pie the best dessert, man. Best part of the whole thing. Hey, when's the last time you been home? It's been a minute, man. I miss my mom. I miss my sister, man. Yeah, I ain't been home in a minute neither. I'm looking forward. Hold on real quick. Hold on. That's my mom. Hold on. All right. Hello?
Hey, son. What are you doing?
No, getting ready to pack up. Come eat some of that turkey.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have your favorites ready when you get home, so they'll definitely be ready to go.
Mom, tell him don't rush. I love him, but it's gonna eat all the food.
What she say?
It's just your sister.
Man, and you better clean up my room, too.
Anyway, let me hear you say it.
I know, Ma. I know, Ma.
What are you gonna say if the cops pull you over?
I know. Hands on the steering wheel. Yes, sir. No, sir. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna call you back.
Okay.
You know, I said, bro, how long will it take you to get home and all that? My GPS told me about an hour and a half. What about you? Take me a nice little hour. Oh, that ain't bad. I hope I beat rush hour, man. Rush hour? I hope I beat the cops. I know that's right. I don't see my family in a minute. Facts, man.
From Emmett Till in 1955 to George Floyd in 2020. You lynched us and called us nobody. But we're the mothers and fathers of civilization. We gave birth to everybody. Just trying to make it home, cause I got somebody that loves me.
Mama telling me stay out the way. I swear it gets harder every day. They treat us like nobody. Each and every one of us somebody. Mama telling me stay out the way. I swear it gets harder every day. They treat us like nobody. Each and every one of us somebody. Somebody loves me.
Officer, I'm not asking why you stopped me. I'm just asking you let me make it home. Like you, I have someone that loves me. I have a family of my own. And my mother said if I ever get stopped that I'm the caller no matter what time it is. And if she doesn't answer, use the camera on my phone. Sir, why you using that tone? Ain't gotta grab me like that. Y'all ain't gotta do me like that.
Let me go, I can't breathe.
Tell me why y'all so threatened by the young and the black.
Tell me why.
I don't wanna be the next one in the black bag. Or be another hashtag. All these black faces killed on camera, and y'all can't give us no answer. Why?
What are you gonna say if the cops pull you over?
I'll throw hands on the steering wheel. Yes, sir, no, sir. I got you. I'm gonna call you back.
We've gotten to a point, place, and time where we've normalized black and brown bodies on the ground.
Your driver's registration insurance, please.
Where's the person pull me over, officer?
Can I see your credentials, please?
Death has become our norm. We now look at them as if it's just a place and space where we're supposed to be.
I need to see some credentials, please. Can you step out of the car, please, for me?
For what, man?
Sir,
I didn't even...
please step out of the car.
For what? I didn't even do nothing. For what?
Please.
For what?
Step out of the car, sir. Do you have your credentials?
This is somebody's baby, somebody's son who never found his point and place in time because his point, place, and time was taken from him.
Officer, I didn't do anything.
I want to see your credentials.
Officer, I didn't
up
do
against the
anything.
car. Get up against the car. Get up against the
Officer,
car. Up against the car. Where's your credentials at?
Officer, I'm a college
student.
student.
Let me see your credentials.
I'm a college student trying to get home.
I want to see your credentials.
I'm just a college student trying to get home.
Keep your mouth shut.
Happy birthday to you.
Isn't any black and brown pain too much pain?
Right there, see?
Nobody want to see your highlights. Nobody want to see your highlights.
And when do we arrive at a space where we see the problem and become the solution to it?
Happy birthday to you.
And yet we arrive here as if this is okay, as if this is all right, as if nobody's going to say anything about everything that is occurring. But aren't we all connected? Aren't we all suffering in the same space and time?
It's crazy.
Hey.
Where's the sadness at? Where's the outrage at? Or is the only time you move when this body sitting in this casket, in this space, in this place is yours?
No, baby, no, Mom, baby, no. Mom.
But as soon as we leave out of here today, the same hate space that we keep creating will cultivate our minds and hearts. But in here, you've got nothing but unconditional love. What happened to the black family?
Mama telling me stay out the way. I swear it gets harder every day. They treat us like nobody.
Each and every one of us somebody. Oh, mama telling me stay out the way. I swear it gets harder every day. Every day they treat us like nobody. But each and every one of us somebody.
Of the day, my unborn black son won't be just another name, another unsolved case, another face maced, another body tased, another black life taken away. I got a million problems, the police is one. My heart cries for the mamas who have lost their son. Fist up, we pissed off, the fight won't be done. Fist up, we gon' fight till we get just us.
I wanna be somebody, I wanna go somewhere. We need to stop with this racial tension.
I wanna be somebody, I wanna go somewhere. We gotta stop with this racial tension. Oh, oh.
I wanna be somebody, I wanna go somewhere. We gotta stop with this racial tension.